We episode 19
Oh,
is Rangers of the Grid. We just starting off hot. We just coming
we
in
are.
hot, coming in hot. We coming in hot because we just turned 19, dude.
We're
Man,
19.
thinking back,
We
right?
indestructible.
We indestructible, right? Thinking back when you was 19, I'm thinking back right now when I was 19, feeling good. I was like, dang, this birthday gonna be a little better because the last one when I turned 18, I was on juvenile probation. So this one gonna be a little better.
Let's see, 19. That was 2020. No, not 2020.
Oh,
2020.
shut,
What?
bro, shut up. Like,
I
what
don't
the
know, dude. I
heck?
don't know why I thought that. I don't know why I thought that.
2020.
I'm only 22 years old. 2010.
I've seen people with worse hairlines at 22.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, hey, it's not terrible, buddy. You're looking great for 22. I
I
feel
mean,
terrible, but I'm just
hey,
kidding.
some guy in my science class thought I was like only 20, like 23, 24. What's up? He messaged back.
Sorry. Yeah. Uh, we'll talk about it off air.
Uh-oh.
I don't know yet. I haven't even read it.
Oh, dang. Do it on here. We want to know the suspense. Let me set the scene.
I don't know if you'll want to know.
Oh, he said no, huh?
No, no, no. But
Oh,
like,
just a charge. All right, let's set the scene. Okay, we know we're gonna say it. Okay,
we can
here's
do it
what's
on air. I don't even
yeah, no, we're
care.
gonna do this on
I
there.
don't
Okay,
care.
all right. So
I don't
everyone want to know
care.
what's going on right now. All right. So this upcoming weekend, Sack Anime
uh,
and Dan Southworth, who played Eric Myers, Quantum Ranger, Power Rangers Time Force, is going to be there. We just kind of found this out the other day. Sac Anime for us is like God, like a 40-minute drive. So we're like, yeah, let's try to do this. And so we sent him the message that we sent to Steve Cardenas, to Johnny Young Bosch about trying to do an interview with them at StockCon. We got Steve, we got Rocky. So now we just messaged right before we went on air, or actually before we started recording, just like a few minutes ago. We just sent this message out to them saying, hey, what can we do? Can we get an interview? What's up? Now, Richard, what did he say?
well, let's preface with we really lucked out with Steve, right?
Very, very much so.
Like Steve was, I think, overly generous.
Because this is the thing in the message, I put together a very like professional spiel, even offering like, hey, like, even if you have to talk compensation, because people when they do these things, they get like money for, they're charging for autographs, for pictures, stuff like that. So obviously you would assume if we're gonna do like an interview, there's gonna be some compensation talk.
Yeah,
And I'm sure that's what we got right here. Because Steve Cardenas did not charge us at all.
he didn't at all. Wild.
At all. I mean,
Very
even
surprised.
when we were done, we was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I was like, hey man, you want to talk about it? And he's like, oh, thanks, guys. Just
Yeah, he
okay.
was cool with everything. He's like, "Oh, cool, thanks."
Yeah.
Yeah, this compensation. Let me read it to you.
Yeah, just read the message, dog. Read it out here.
All right, sounds great. I'm very busy this weekend, but I can carve out time if you are able to compensate. Smiley face. Let me know you're able to accommodate for compensation. My usual daily rate is $2,500, but I don't expect that. Just a reference. Let me know what's in your budget and for how long. All the best.
Dang.
Thoughts. And he's active right now, so he'd probably respond right back.
He would respond. This is an interesting interview. And not interview. Hey, we kind of got an interview right now. We live chatting with Dan Southworth right now, guys.
Yeah, he's
Well,
active right now. Like he would respond, I'm assuming right back.
honestly, let's be real. We did a 5-minute interview with Rocky, with Steve. So I would just say, even if it was just a 5-minute, see what, because if his what he said is 2,500 for the day.
Daily rate.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a day. So
So what? You want me to do like what?
Well, just like, or if it was just like a 5 to 10 minute interview, how much he charges for that? Or if you
Yeah.
don't want to go down there, that's fine.
No, I can. I'll message whatever. I mean, I don't really care.
But yeah, that's 25. Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, dog. I ain't doing that.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, but it's
brother.
like, but like you said, he's not expecting that, and because also it's not for the day, because that's literally a little under $100 per hour if he's 2,500 for
Yeah,
24
but
hours. But what?
mm, okay. I mean, I'm assuming he wants us to give a number because he just threw out a number. So
He
he's
did.
assuming we're gonna throw a number back.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. Kind of. By the way, this just made the show interesting,
It really did. This was completely unplanned.
very unplanned.
You seem a little
I'm
upset.
not upset. It's just
The reality.
not even reality.
Well,
Um, I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes it's I don't sound rude. I don't want to sound rude, and you're smiling and already laughing.
because I already
And
know you, dog.
I'm actually gonna be really, I guess, professional about how I'm thinking. But we probably wouldn't earn that back.
No, no.
Yeah. So, I mean, sometimes that happens, right? Is what it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes how, most of the times how it goes. But I'm like, dang, man. I mean, I don't know what to offer. He won't like what I have to offer.
Hey man, we'll offer you like some goats. You got goats and
I
chicken.
thought you were gonna say something else, and it was purple. But anyways,
Uh,
um, yeah, I don't know what I would offer. He's saying daily rate, so let's use him for whatever the day is. He's probably not talking 24 hours,
no.
right? He's probably talking an 8 hour day.
Yeah. Let's see. That's about $312.50 per hour.
Mm-hmm.
And if we even try to take a
I
quarter,
low key think it's not less than five.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I don't even know what to say. We'll have to talk about this off air. I have no idea.
Okay.
I have no idea what to, you know,
Oh,
tell him. I don't expect him right to be free.
no.
I don't really. I mean, that's
No.
pretty rare, right? Especially it's time out of their day.
Mm-hmm. They're doing us a favor, like they're the established ones, and we're going to them.
For sure, 100%. Doing my best, Marcus. I'm doing my best to I'm doing my best to be as nice as possible.
Hey man,
He's got a busy weekend, bro.
he does.
All right. He's got a busy weekend, man. Okay.
All right.
Thinking about it. So today's main topic, because we didn't even get to talk about it yet.
Hey, bring it back to Dan Southworth because he's a part of it too.
Sure.
Eric, he's a
Actually,
part of it.
yeah.
He
Yeah,
is.
you're right. This is really funny. Uh Today's main topic today is about Power Rangers Hexagon. You could call it, Marcus would say, like the season that never was, right?
Yes. That
Okay.
never was, that almost was, that
Yeah, and
could have
that's what
been.
our main topic's gonna be. Um, and I found this very interesting because Marcus has been mentioning about this supposed to happen, could have happened season
Yep.
for a long time, actually. Like he's been telling me this for a long time. Ever since like we connected on Power Rangers, pretty much. You've mentioned
Yeah.
about this. And I think too, you mentioned stuff because you're like, I think he would like this. He would think it's interesting.
Well, it's just it's such a the concept of it is so cool. It really moves away from the singular team to make it seem almost like that legit connected universe where they're not just teaming up for, their yearly team up, episode, or one episode, one off, or two-parter. This was going to be an entire season.
Yeah. So like I thought this was really cool, especially like once he told me about it. And at the end of the day, everybody almost has to like do their own research too, as much as they can,
Yeah.
right? Um, and I was like, okay, like let me see what this is about, because if Marcus, correct me if I'm wrong. This was supposed to be the 11th season, right?
Yes, this would have been Ninja Storm.
Okay. So, Marcus, give the premise of why this was even brought up. What was going on at the time?
So, what was going on with Rangers and the premise for Hexagon, it originally there was like the seeds were being planted back in Time Force when they had their team up with Lightspeed Rescue. When Carter shows up, talk to to get the Time Force Rangers help, he makes a mention of like oh yeah, we know there's Rangers all around. Like he alludes to the fact that like he knows, and that like at least Lightspeed Rescue is aware of other Ranger teams and all that. Then flash forward to the next season, Wild Force, when we have the episode Forever Red. So Forever Red was being used not as a backdoor pilot, but it was more of like this is what we would possibly be getting. This was supposed to almost be like the jump off for that. It was going to be Tommy as this almost Nick Fury like character. And the whole premise of
Yeah.
Hexagon, reason why it's called Hexagon, was because like in America we have the Pentagon,
Yeah.
defense. Well,
Yeah.
Power Rangers have 6, so that's why they're going to be called
Yeah.
Hexagon, and they were going to have a building literally in the shape of a hexagon. That was going to be their
Yeah.
command,
Yeah. I heard about that too.
and it was going to be very much like Shield in a sense where it's like, remember in like
He was going to be in a suit, right? That's what they
yeah,
wanted,
he was
suited
he was
Tommy.
legit going to be Nick Fury, and there's going to be all these like like technicians working on like all their stuff, and
I
that was
looked
going to
up
be their home base.
I looked into shout outs to this guy's YouTube channel. He's sick. Six Ranger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
he's
got
off the hook. That guy's awesome.
yeah.
And in his, he was talking about how Tommy's like that, like the suit guy,
Mm-hmm.
but he's that plus like he has to take on a Zordon like role.
Yes, because
Which
that all came from his lines and stuff. Like I guess in the original drafting, they even did film some extra stuff that got cut from Forever Red, where they mentioned no, he's full on like retired. They were gonna make him just full on retired. But then they said he's too big of a character and too popular for him just to be retired. What if we made him more like this big guy, like in charge of all this stuff?
well, we'll eventually cover Forever Red. Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome episode. But like you can tell, especially man, I got to thinking about it. Like if you go back and watch that episode and
Mm-hmm.
knowing about this stuff, you could see a lot planted
Oh, a
in it.
lot. Mm-hmm.
And even we said something about the ending recently, right? Well, they're like TJ was like, man, you don't know who that is, or like that's
Yeah.
Tom, like all this and that. And it makes so much sense about certain people's he was condescending,
Yes.
right? Like some of the others were condescending about it,
Yeah.
which leads to other stuff I know you'll bring up a little later
Mm-hmm.
about hexagon possibilities that were supposed to happen. But I just found that interesting when I was researching about this, like just remembering the episode Forever Red. I'm like, dude, there is a lot of like little nuggets,
Mm-hmm.
and like you said, there's other stuff filmed that didn't get added. It's like, man, maybe they were like didn't want to give too much without a guarantee it's going to happen.
Well, not just that, but then also, and that I do feel does play a major role in that, because at that time they had like Wild Force was that it's like a hybrid season of like Disney Saban, because like Disney had just bought it, and so it was the last season being filmed in LA, and they were like, so it was this weird transitional, like both like production companies had their hands on it, very much like I think the first or second season of Beast Morphers, where it was like a hybrid season of Neo Saban and Hasbro. I think it was that first season, and then the second season was full Hasbro. Uh, but that was the same kind of situation. So Disney just bought it. It was kind of in this kind of like not limbo state. It was still going to keep going, but the direction of it wasn't fully actualized yet. It wasn't known.
And if I'm correct, I guess this was another situation of like Rangers is going away.
No,
Kind of, right? Really? That's what I've read
it,
a lot of. I read that
no.
it was a limbo and that they weren't super sure about the
See,
future of them.
no. Well, they knew it was going to continue with Disney, but the thing of with Hexagon, what they wanted to do was just wrap everything up to like put like a bow on, like in a sense, almost kind of like how Endgame did with the MCU. It's like, hey, everything from Iron Man to Endgame, it's all wrapped up. Here's a bow on it, tied up all these loose ends, sort of, and then
I'm kind of glad
that's
that
that.
didn't happen though.
Yeah,
When you think about it a little bit, because like we don't get certain people in the MCU anymore.
no,
Like we don't,
no,
and we're not right now. Like we're not. Like
yeah,
Guardians is gone. The original Guardians people, most of them are gone for sure, guaranteed.
no.
They already
Okay.
said it.
Well, I know Batista's gone. Plus,
Pratt.
I don't know about the rest because I haven't watched the movie.
Oh, insane. Mind blowing. Best Marvel movie I've seen since Endgame.
Oh,
Not even close. And
oh,
that's even to Black Panther 2. I was very surprised.
okay.
Yeah. Mind blowing. Mind blowing. It's on Disney Plus.
Oh, I
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah. By the way, by far, like the best one I've seen since Endgame. Yeah. That's just my opinion. And that was actually my wife's opinion too, which I was surprised by. She don't pay attention to any of this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
She's a casual. She was like, "Oh, this was so good." Yeah, it's mind blowing. And if you watch the movie, you can tell there's no more um, of any of it. But like, we're not getting any of these people. We're not getting, as far as I know, Chris Evans.
Yeah.
Prop pop. They say we're not getting Tony Stark. I don't believe that.
I don't like. I know we're not, but honestly, well, not just with any of them. At the end of the day, dude, money talks.
Thank you. That's what I'm thinking
Money
in my head right
talks.
now.
That's the first thing, and especially now, like, let's be real, they're on the decline. They're on the decline, and they need to boost that up. Like Joe Rogan said it best when he had RDJ on his podcast. He's like, "Oh, are you really done?" He's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." He's like, "Oh, what? You don't think there's gonna come a point when it's like, oh, we need it, like they do a couple movies of this other stuff, and let's be real, it's gonna flounder because it ain't as hot as it used to be, and then they're gonna be like, hey man, we need to pump this back up."
Here's 100 mil for this movie.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, I know they're floundering, but that still ain't nothing to Disney. That ain't nothing to
Yeah.
Disney. But
Although Disney's trying to sell assets.
yes, no, they are.
That's this
And
isn't
there's a
that kind of
possible
podcast to talk about some stuff, but like that's telling that
no, it is.
they're okay with selling
Yeah,
ESPN.
yeah.
ESPN makes a lot of money
It's a wild thing.
and they're willing to sell it,
Yep.
including and everything with it, like the UFC and all that stuff, and sell all the football and all those rights. Very telling, Marcus.
Making some room for something
Making some room for something, right?
or someone's.
Yeah, I
But
mean they got to do something. And those theme
yeah,
parks have been not getting the best reviews lately, so
no, they're not.
close
But
them
anyway,
down.
well,
But
you
yeah,
know what? Hey,
we'll see.
those reviews, they would have gotten better reviews if they did a Power Ranger Land or did Power Rangers like they could have with the MCU. Just saying, they didn't know what they had when they had them. But
That'd have been sick.
But well, this is so exactly. But and honestly, had Hexagon gone on and became a thing, it would have blown like it would have been way ahead of Marvel, ahead of DC and stuff. And this is the reason why, because this is the story behind it. So it was still going to follow the thing of like Ninja Storm,
Mhm.
where it was like the three new recruits. And so
Yep.
what it is, it's yes, it's this base and everything, but the three Ninja Rangers, red, blue, and yellow, they're like the new recruits. They're the ones Tommy's sitting on missions and all that. So yeah, it's their season,
It's
but
funny
it's
that
like,
this would be the start of the three.
yeah. So it's like their season, but it's also like all this other stuff behind it, you know. So it's like we still get to focus on new kids and all that coming in, but no, we're still gonna tie up all these loose ends behind there. Like I know Prince Gasket from Zeo was going to be one of the villains. There was not going to
Mhm.
be a central villain. It was going to be all others.
Scorpina,
Scorpina, Lokar,
Lokar.
yep,
Yeah.
that big head dude
Which,
looking like
by the way, I that to me would have been big because I was always thought like this guy was so powerful.
I used to always think that Lokar, whenever I saw his head and everything, he always looked to me like the guitarist from Michael Jackson's Dirty Diana video.
Never seen it.
Oh, brother, you missing out. I've not seen that.
I'm
I'll
doing
send you a
okay.
picture of that later, and you're gonna look just like him. I would pull it up, but I want to go on the internet and get this episode banned again.
Yeah, dog.
But anyway,
Thinking you
so
can just use like other people's property.
hey man, I try.
And
Anyway,
this ain't back in the day, dog.
oh,
This ain't excuse me. This ain't like oh wait.
it ain't 08? Oh yeah, I forgot. We 15 years past that.
Yeah, dog. Remember back in oh 08? Like, no, it didn't even matter. You just take whatever. I did this. No, you didn't. Okay, prove it. If you wow, hold up, who the stanky leg?
I
Mm-hmm.
thought it was 09.
I don't remember.
Anyway, so with Hexagon, so you have like the Ninja Rangers, they're the new recruits. And then you're tying up all these loose ends from other like prominent villains that kind of disappeared, didn't go away. So you'd have Gasket, Lokar, Scorpina. They were like the big three. And then they'd be tying stuff up with like KO 35 and like
Yeah,
Andros and all them. There was going to even be this whole like thing about Terra Venture of how like, wait. How did we get this like thing built up where and there was going to be this whole kind of controversy thing behind it of where all that was like Astronoma's Dark Fortress. They
yeah.
got it and repurposed it and made it into Terra
Terra
Venture.
Venture. Yeah,
So there was going to be that. They were going to reveal Phantom Ranger's identity, bring him
I
back.
saw this
They were,
too.
that was another thing about it.
I feel
I
like
think
that's
that
always been a random thing, huh?
it has been,
It
and
is Billy. It was
I
Billy
think we
all
can at
along.
least say now we know it's not Billy.
It is always in my heart. It's Billy.
And I will say this though too, your boy did get this a couple months ago. I haven't read it yet. It's the Power Rangers universe. This is with the Phantom Ranger, like the OG, like before he came on this show. So this has his like origins in there. So you
Why?
know it ain't
Why
Billy.
haven't you gotten to it? You got time.
Anyway,
You know when
so
you don't have time is when you tell me, Richard, I can't even take a shit.
wow.
That's I've heard this before. That saying before. I'm so
Okay.
busy I can't even take a shit. That's how you know you're busy.
Wow.
Yeah, and you can't say that right now. I
No,
seen you had to. I seen you had to walk and go drop a hot one. You have time.
it's a wild episode.
It's something.
Yep. It's something.
It's something,
But
right? It's fun though.
yeah. So later moving, so that was kind of like the building part, like this foundation of it. But then also with Ninja Storm, we know they had the Thunder Rangers, the dark red, the crimson, the navy. Well, there was also the producer of at the time that was putting together Hexagon was also going to commission a dark yellow. And
That would make sense.
there are some sites online, like images online, you can Google it, like there is like a dark yellow with the Beetle range with the Thunder Rangers. I don't know if it's like a if that was just exclusive to Japan or if it was like some fan stuff, but there was like but there were plans, and you can kind of see the suit, how it was going to look, and all that. So they were going to give them,
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it. Yeah,
yeah.
that's cool.
So they weren't going to be a part of Hexagon. They are the more traditional Rangers, but now in a sense seen more as vigilantes. And that was how they were going to get across with them. Like, because if you watch Ninja Storm, sometimes they work with them even though they're against them before they join the team. So it was going to be like for the greater good type thing, and then go their separate ways. But the thing that was going to be like their leader, because we know Tommy was going to be the leader for the Ninja Rangers, and
Hit him with this
all
because
that.
on episode 23, that
This is
Jordan, we coming with it.
this lays the groundwork for that, which they bring real life into it. The leader of, as they were calling them, the Beetle Rangers, is going to be Jason Scott, former Red Ranger.
Which makes all the
Former,
sense in the world. Because if you guys, everyone remembers,
mm-hmm.
oh boy, when he came into Zeo,
Yep.
black trench coat,
Trench coat,
bandana.
the glasses, middle of
Mm-hmm.
the desert.
Yeah, he looked like first off in my head, okay, I thought you was overseas. I thought you was
Right.
at some peace conference looking
Mm-hmm.
at me like you didn't learn no peace. Okay. Secondly,
Yep.
oh boy came back alone. What happened to the others? Okay. What stories is you trying to tell? Pre-tell.
Yeah. Oh, and don't try to tell us, oh, well, we got the Omega Ranger arc. There's still some time in between. What happened?
Yeah.
What
Let us
happened?
know.
Boom.
Start from or else we gonna start from Psalms and get to reading. Let's go. But yeah, dude. So like some of this stuff,
That, yeah.
like show some signs. I said somebody was the way they were acting on Forever Red,
Yeah.
you know.
Of how he came up, let's be real. He came up to Cole like calling him rookie, and oh, get out the way. I got this. Let me show you how it's done.
Yeah, he acted like he still has something to prove.
Yeah. Well, then he also tells them, like, when he says to some of the other Rangers, like, oh, yeah, some of you I know. And the ones he said that to was like Lightspeed Rescue and Time Force. Now, it's interesting when you think
Yeah.
about it. Those are like the governmental, especially Lightspeed Rescue. That's almost like a government entity, first of all. And then Time Force, especially as the Silver Guardians, they became a little more militaristic, like
Mhm.
paramilitary style. So the fact that Jason, who may have been on the run this whole time, for some reason, it's only, yeah, I know some of you.
But what's funny though is they had very similar outlooks to Tommy.
Yes. And that was going to lead to the whole thing that eventually, with the Beetle Rangers coming in, you were going to have some of the Rangers assigning with them or aligning with them. Like they said,
Funny though. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
like they said, like the Alien Rangers were
Mhm.
supposed to come back, and they would be going on the side of the Beetle Rangers. You had other ones that, like, yeah, they were Tommy, but they're like, wait, no, dude, you don't see this. Like, we gotta, for the
Very
greater good.
Civil War like.
Yeah, and that's what they said. If this were to happen, it would have predated Marvel Civil War by about 2 years.
But what about the comics?
No, yeah, the
Yeah.
comics, the whole original like Marvel
Yeah.
Civil War comic line, this would have predated that. And then to kick it all off, like the cherry on top, that Samurai Ranger, the Green Samurai Ranger, because they said
Uh-huh.
the show producer, he's like,
Yeah.
let's be real, you see a Green Ranger, that's a sixth Ranger, and he's got that gold shield.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
got
You already.
Tommy. Now there was a
And he was
rumor
supposed to be
though,
bad, right?
he kind of, yeah. Well,
I
he
heard
was
that he
gonna
was supposed to
come
end up being
in,
the main villain for that team.
Tommy, yeah. So what was basically gonna happen was there, before he took the like Green Samurai Ranger powers, there was a rumor that they were going to make another six Ranger that kind of flopped sides, because in
Mhm.
Ninja Storm, the Green Samurai Ranger has a Super Samurai mode. He could take off his shield vest thing and then
He was
flip his.
actually kind of cool when you think
It's
back on
hecka
it.
cool, and he
Yeah.
could flip his helmet around so he looked a little different. And so he said, depending on which team he was with, he would switch up his style. And he was going to be this guy in the middle. But I think they said he was going to be a character named Derek,
Yeah, because it's gonna
because
match with all
all
the
the
other
six
people.
Rangers at the time
Yeah.
was Eric Myers, you had Merrick, so Eric, Merrick, and now Derek. I guess they like that name system.
Widest names I've ever heard in my life. Go ahead, continue.
Imagine some triplets. Hi, I'm Derek, Eric, and Merrick.
I'd be like, I bet y'all love mustard. Go ahead,
Hey, they
continue.
EDM dog. EDM. Eric, Derek, and Merrick. But uh, but then they said, no, we got to do this with Tommy. But he was going to
I
be
bet they still listen to dubstep.
probably, yeah. But they were going to get to a point where he got so like totalitarian, almost like dictatorish a little bit, that he's like, no, this is the only way we're doing it. And then eventually,
Tommy?
yeah, Tommy,
Yeah. I've
to
read
where
this
he
too. That's
was
funny.
sort of like it was going to come down to this whole thing to where finally, like, he just dissolves Hexagon. He does like
Yeah,
when he learns the error of his ways, he dissolves Hexagon,
because he
and then
doesn't
go,
see it as good.
yeah, because
Very
he's
Stark
corrupted by the
like when it
power.
comes to Avengers.
Yeah. And so he disbands it, and that was going to be like it was going to dissolve it, and they were just going to kind of go back to Ranger business as usual.
Yeah, and I heard that was gonna be like almost like a refreshing start to like
Yep.
what Power Rangers could be. Anything almost without it ever wants to. It could start it off, everything sewed up,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because ultimately the battle in the end was gonna be amongst each other.
Yes. Yeah. They
Um,
handled all the villains, but
what I found
I think
interesting,
actually, sorry, but there actually was going to be a villain and like another space villain or like a newer one. And originally they were going to have the Red Ninja Ranger. He was going to be the son of the villain because they wanted to do like a reverse Corona Astronema type thing to where it's like, nah, he's eventually going to be evil.
which I think is really cool.
Different.
I thought what was interesting though is they almost wanted these like Borg, right? Beetle type Borg
Mm-hmm.
Rangers. And it's still so funny to me. And I know it's kind of almost out of context. Like, we just use Beetleborgs and Forever Red.
Yeah.
And they're suddenly the bad guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But now we're going to take a little bit of that concept and we're going to take it and we're going to make some ranges out of it. How sick would it have been, though, if on the other side, one of the bad guys was Justin
That would have been interesting to see.
turning on the Tommy?
Well, that's the thing. I think depending on like who they brought in and everything would be really telling to see how those relationships turned in a sense. Because let's be real, it'd be real interesting to see where TJ fell in that. Because he's the Tommy successor. We know he's a fanboy of Tom. Like,
I think he'd have been on his side.
I think he would have been, but I think he would have been like that last one to be like, hey man, this ain't right.
I think he'd have been like, you would have had, it sounds weird, but like everyone from Zio to a point would be on Tommy's side.
Oh yeah.
Like Rocky, Adam, Aisha, Tanya,
Mm-hmm.
Kat, Billy, probably.
If he was around.
Yeah. It'd have been. I don't know. To me, this whole like concept is fun and interesting.
Yeah.
Because also, what I wonder, okay, during Forever Ed,
Mm-hmm.
how's everyone's power suddenly still work?
That was going to be the thing. They were going to bring that up of why, of how people were
Mhm.
able to get their power even after like, oh, these powers don't work anymore, or they were defeated, or we gave them up. That was going to be a thing of like explaining how they were still able to like morph again.
Because bro, like one of my favorite episodes ever was Adam and In Space, right? But the morpher,
Yep.
and he said like if he used it,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
It could kill him.
okay. But Jason over here still got the morpher.
I think, and if I remember correctly, I think they were going to bring back Ninjork to kind of explain why they have a ninja team. So Ninja created these powers, somehow was able to like give back there, but I think he was going to be used as almost like that power source.
And still, sometimes I'm like, it would have been fun to know why certain things just like fizzled out. Like
Yeah,
Tommy's using Zeo Red suddenly,
yeah,
like suddenly, but they couldn't handle water.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Okay, like there'd have been a
yeah,
bunch of
yeah.
questions that would
All
have been
right,
fun to get
but here's
answered.
another question I have, just besides the whole how did they morph stuff. How they breathing on the moon?
The suits, right?
They were fighting on the moon without the suits. Like I'll
Yeah,
say this: the only person that I could see surviving space without anything would be Andros because he's kind of an alien.
he's not human.
But they said he is human though. They
And
described him. He's described as human.
he ain't human. He got the
No, he's a
force.
space. But what I'm saying though,
He's just like them fools from Star Wars. He Obi-Wan Kenobi son.
he might be. He
That's
might
my new
be.
thing. That's gonna be my new thing, Margaret. He Obi-Wan Kenobi son. You know damn well he likes extra sauce on his rib.
He Obi-Wan's son. You
He
Obi-Wan's son.
Obi-Wan's son. He Obi-Wan's son.
You know, that's what
Look at that
like
boy
even
over there.
like even on these like Marvel movies, bro. Like there's a lot of crossover Marvel talk right now on this episode, but I don't care. Like when they got into the Titan to fight Thanos, how they know they're gonna be able to breathe? How? How is this happening?
I don't
That's
know,
how
man.
like
As soon as Tom Holland's mask went off, suddenly he couldn't. He was about to die.
no, dude, he was fighting before. Cause remember he had his mask off talking to all of them.
That's true. I don't know, man. They got superpowers, dog.
Iron Man ain't got no superpowers. He has a suit.
He's Iron Man.
A suit. Yeah, and you remember how Iron Man was in the animated series before? I'm a quadriplegic outside of this suit. Yeah. Iron Man ain't breathing in space, man.
Robert Downey Jr. is.
No, he ain't.
He was.
I mean, back in the day, when,
But yet he needed more oxygen on that ship, huh?
yeah, I don't get it.
Shoot. I don't know. All I know is this would have been really fun.
Yeah.
It would have been really cool concept. I feel like they almost shouldn't have said nothing, by the way, about it.
Well, this is the thing. I don't know how exactly it kind of only got leaked.
Writer, right?
Huh?
By that one writer or producer guy.
Yeah, like the guy who's supposed to be like the showrunner of it. Um,
He
because it
shouldn't have
was a
said nothing.
but then this is the thing though, like when and you know this, but because you were there when you met Selwyn Ward, TJ, I asked him, like, hey,
Yeah,
just because he would, let's be real, how is he not going to be a
I,
part of it?
because he's just an actor.
No,
And
I
as we just found out with old boy Dan right now,
I know, but what I'm saying though is
compensation,
what I'm saying though,
salutations. Okay, dog.
this man for sure was going to be part of it. So I
Yeah,
asked him,
but come on,
I was like,
Marcus.
have you heard of this? Like, was this like supposed to be a thing? And he said, he's like, no, I never heard anything about it. He's like,
No,
I've heard stuff later, but not like while we were doing Forever Red stuff. They never mentioned anything like that. But I think the reason for that is because they were in this sort of limbo of what was going to happen with the franchise next. And so, because as we know, Disney gets full control of it, moves production out of LA,
they hit him with that
New
Shang Tsung.
Zealand. Huh?
Your soul is mine. And like, they shouldn't have said nothing. I'm not surprised he didn't know, bro. Like, let's be honest here. They just act, right? They get their daily rate, and then they just show up and they do their deal. They don't, they're not in on the meetings, right? They're not on that round table exchanging ideas for the show. This ain't Saturday Night Live, right? They ain't throwing pitches over here. You know, it sounds like a lot of these people didn't like Saban. At least that's what Billy says. But or the shade he'll throw sometimes at him online.
Yeah.
But it would have been fun, but it's almost like a hindrance that they brought it up. Because man, I don't know if you've ever just searched it in YouTube. there's like ton of like randomness about Hexagon.
Yeah, that's how I first started hearing about it. Bless
Sorry.
you.
Oof.
I started seeing it when like I would see these like videos from like it was obviously Super Sentai because they'd have like the team up like these Rangers together. Um and it was like, wait, this never happened. So obviously this was Sentai footage, but it was like they kept saying like Power Rangers Hexagon
Mhm.
on there. Like it was obviously some fan made stuff, but it was a lot of them. And when I finally looked into it, I'm like, wait, what the heck is Hexagon? And that's how I found out that this is what could have been.
Yeah. A lot of people think that like the closest chance they had to this would have been in Megaforce.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like of
And
actually happening right after it was talked about and never actually was acted upon.
yeah. And there have been, it's one of those things where they've taken that concept of it and have like used it for like other things. Like, and they've done it in other parts, like how Tommy, every time he comes back for a, or every time he has come back for an anniversary special, he's always seen as like the overseer of everything. Like, even I know you saw it. Like, remember when the 25th anniversary one? The whole thing was, yeah, Tommy called us. So that's why how they all got captured. Um,
Which makes all the sense in the world.
right? So it was this whole thing like Tommy's always this overseer of like pretty much like the Rangers universe. Um, all this part of how like in Megaforce they did do some parts, like the some parts that I do know about Megaforce is when like past Rangers would come back. Like I know Casey from Jungle Fury, Jaden from Samurai, other guys would pop up here and there for like little cameos, and that was it.
And that's where I'm like, I think the concept's always been fun,
Yeah,
right? But it feels like once they moved away, the more they move away, like every season or whatever, the more unlikely it's going to be to do
yeah,
something like it.
and I think it just gets more like I feel like once and always kind of had that feel a little bit like how they had the whole like Bandor protocol, the call going out to all Ranger teams and all that. I feel like that's let's be real, that's definitely close to Hexagon.
To a point, but if you remember, they still kept it somewhat what I would call in house.
Oh no, definitely. They definitely did.
Like
But
you were had to be a part of that Mighty Morphin crew
yes.
at some point to be involved in what they were doing in that episode.
Yeah. No, because that
You
was
know,
clearly like just a Mighty Morphin thing. But the fact of Billy like communicating and having this protocol to all Rangers. So and the greater connecting
but
Ranger
yeah,
universe
I
as
mean,
a
it's
whole.
funny though because like unless you're into it, you're not looking that deep.
No, no,
Like that's not for a casual.
no.
And it's tough sometimes too. Like
But also, I don't think once and always was for the casual though.
I think it was for the people that were nostalgic. I think it did have something for a casual because it
It
was
did
advertised on there, right?
a
It's
little bit,
advertised
yeah,
on Netflix. No, like on their actual feed. Like when you
yeah.
go into the app, it's one of the things that pops up. At least when it was first released, like only on Netflix, one of the tabs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's still sometimes where like I don't want to say issues with the brand, but like Power Rangers is such a weird spot. And you want go ahead and wrap up whatever you're gonna talk about with Hexagon, and then we can talk about this because I was wanting to talk about it. Go
No,
ahead.
I'm kind of. I think I hit all my stuff I needed to.
Yeah, it was cool. Hexagon would have been sick, but what do you do, right? It is what it is. Now we just keep getting a million fan made stuff about it. This is that million and one right here. Um, but I saw some stuff this week from like the main show producers or person for Cosmic Fury. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and he had made a comment about
Who?
what let me get his name. Um he's like the main guy and he responds to people online a lot. Like I don't know if you know that. but he is a big like he responds, which I was like, whoa, that's surprising. Um, by the way, anyone saw a lot of Master Morpher shots this week? I thought it was pretty
Yep.
cool. Um,
Look, I'm not gonna lie, it's cool. I like how they did like the Falcon Zord coin too. Like they literally got all of them, which I think is great.
mhm.
Um, I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was so cheap. Like some of the stuff that Tommy's saying in there is so cheesy, like Dr. O's here and stuff like that. I'm
Mhm.
like, that's super cheesy, but you know what? That's freaking awesome though.
Yep.
That we're getting left with that.
And it's cool to know that he went. Those aren't just
And
like
that's actual recordings of him
used. Those
going
are
to
like
Disney.
last, like basically like the last things he really did
Yeah.
for this Ranger stuff.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be a hot seller, bro. Like
Oh,
I'm talking, we're gonna have to like be when it drops, be ready.
yep.
Because I don't know if you saw on Hasbro Pulse recently,
Oh, I was
helmets
on there
sold out.
today. That white helmet is gone. The Red Ranger helmet is still available, but
Entertainment Earth, dog.
I know. But it's funny. I was looking at it in class. I was like, real quick, oh, what they got up on here? Let me check some stuff. And this girl sitting across from me, get it. You should get it.
Same one.
No, no. This was Rosie O'Donnell type.
Okay. The guy's name is Simon Bennett. He's the main director,
Oh,
producer guy out there.
oh yeah. He's the dude that produced Cosmic Fury and all that.
Yeah. This is why I'm bringing this up
Okay.
because he brought a couple random things up, and sometimes when he says stuff, um people get upset,
Mm-hmm.
right? I don't know. It's always interesting to me. Like people get mad at him, like
Mm-hmm.
of the comments he makes because they're like, what the heck? But he kind of made a little comment about it's for kids, right? And people were like kind of annoyed
Mm-hmm.
that he said that, right? You know? Um, so I just thought that was interesting when he said it's kind of for kids. There's a couple of things he said that people were like kind of like, ugh, yeah, I don't know about this. Sorry, I'm reading some of his tweets. He was saying about how someone was like, "Oh man, I hope we get a lot more
Mm-hmm.
character episodes." And he said, "Not probably not going to happen." And reason being, he said that it's 10 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he said Q&A was for older fans. Dino Fury and Cosmic Fury are for kids, right? Already got some people annoyed with that comment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he also said a couple interesting things of like, Once and Always was the first Union Power Ranger since Saban bought the franchise back from Disney.
Yep.
Cosmic Fury, like Dino Fury, was non-union.
Mm-hmm.
But he said about the episodes, because fans like the whole character thing, right? I understand that. I get it. Character stuff's sick. We actually I think my main complaint about SPD was that it wasn't that for the Pink Ranger, right? Remember I
Yeah,
told
she
you?
just was kind of there. She got like one and a
Yeah.
half like moments.
Yeah, so some about it's hard. 10 episodes, can't really do stuff like that
Yeah.
with 10 episodes, but like they have a whole focal point of the series, right?
And but you know what though? I get that because this is the first time since Mighty Morphin a team has had 3 seasons. So by this point, and you gotta kind of look at it too, you know, you should know the characters. You know the characters. You've seen them grow from when they first became Rangers. Now here's their second go around as Rangers. Now is the third one, and we're gonna get to the action. All right, we can leave the character building stuff behind because now it's action time. So I get that.
Oh yeah, it was because he made a tweet saying call me radical, but I suspect that those adult Power Ranger fans who are also diehard Super Sentai fans may be vocarious or something when PR deviates from its traditional source material, but are also a minuscule percentage of the viewership of the show, which is made for children, which is kind of what I've said forever.
Yeah,
And then someone made a comment, and he's like, because they're the noisy ones on social media, unlike the kids the show's made for.
yeah.
I mean, there's some obviously good arguments against him, by the way, as well. A couple of them are like, the show was best when it actually deviated from Sentai.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. Like,
Well,
it'll be interesting to see what they get out of 10 episodes. Hasn't
uh,
I don't know how long each episode is. Still,
I don't know either, but I mean, I'll say this: at the end of the day, it's like, hey, man, you got these people always saying, "Oh, it's same, more of the same stuff. Do something different. We want something different," and then they do. No, what are you doing? It's not like this. It's like when people complained about Henry Cavill, like he doesn't look like Christopher Reeve, but then people complained about Brandon Routh Superman. He looks too much like Christopher Reeve. Well, what do you want? You want him to look like, you want Superman to look like Christopher Reeve, or do you not want him to look like? It's
someone's always complaining.
you're always, and at the end of the day, let's be real. These people hating on it, they gonna watch. They're gonna
Still gonna
watch.
watch. Still gonna watch.
They're gonna watch. This ain't like the Flash, where it's like all this controversy surrounding it, where from the actors and the outside, the only controversy here, in a sense, is they're doing something different, completely different.
I don't even think
Not
this is the
even controversial.
controversy. I think
No,
the controversy for this whole thing is it feels like it's the end,
yeah.
and people are just spouting their opinions off of what they believe needs to happen or
Hmm.
should happen or how this is supposed to go, when in reality is this was filmed before they realized it might be the end.
Yeah.
I'm saying might be. I don't know. Truth is, no one knows, bro.
No.
No one knows. This guy assumes it is for now.
Yeah.
And you know what? Truth, it is. It is for now.
It is. Let's be real. The Power Rangers Cosmic Fury is going to be the end of the franchise for now. Until they
Guaranteed.
get the reboot universe and all that going, this is it. So, but this is also the other thing. If the franchise is not supported through this, what makes you think they're going to want to move ahead with the rebooted franchise?
Oh yeah, I agree with you. I
Because
I, I would agree
this
with
is
you one
one of
hundred
those
percent.
things. If it's supported and people really love Rangers, they're going to support this. And they're going to, like I said, you put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you, bro.
And
Like one
so,
hundred percent
because
about
if we
that.
don't support it, then how are they going to be like, well, this last thing when we did something different, they didn't like it. And now we're going to go completely different. They ain't going to support this. So, you know what? That's just it. We're going to sell it
Yeah.
off and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I don't really know what's gonna happen. You know, I have a hope. I have a hope that next year at some point something will be announced.
Something. Something. Hopefully, someone will be announced by the time Power MorphCon comes around.
Yeah, man. Like it's just something that'd be really cool. Something to happen. I also think like I'm gonna enjoy what we got.
Yep.
I already told you, man. Like I already kind of stepped all into it. I bought the Japanese version of the Zord. It
Yeah.
comes in like a week and a half.
Nice.
Yeah, man. Which looks way cooler than the American version. It's taller by 2 inches.
Oh, yeah.
Um, yeah, I think it's gonna be real good, you know. So that'll be a cool one. And I'm down to watch it. I'm excited for it, to be honest with you. The conversation we had about it on here about it made me really excited for it. I can't wait, to be
It's,
truthful.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited. Can't wait. I'm absolutely stoked for it, and I can't wait to watch it. I'm gonna do my best to enjoy it. A part of me is like, I guess I need to try to watch Dino Fury or something. Like,
You need to.
you watched it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay, dang, dog, my bad. I didn't know you
yeah,
were
yeah. I
still like
watched
an
it.
active watcher
Well, with this, because what was it? I remember last summer I'd started Ninja Storm because I never fully finished that whole season. There are bits and pieces of it I saw. I
of
never.
Ninja Storm.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That dude, Ninja Storm was almost my exit from the franchise. I was like, and I'm done. And then a few months later, Tommy
When did
comes
you
back.
watch Dino Fury?
When did I watch it? Couple last year.
When it was airing?
No, 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 no. It had already finished
Oh, so
airing.
you fake as hell too.
What do you
I'm just
mean?
kidding. I'm messing with you, bro.
It's
I'm
on
giving you a
Netflix.
hard time. Nigga, I'm joking. Dang, man. God. Get all sensitive right away. It's on Netflix. I know. I know it's on Netflix. Everything's on Netflix. Kinda.
Yeah, not everything.
Yeah. I know. Kinda. Whatever they have the IP to. Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm just messing with you. You wasn't like the real fans though who watched it right away.
I watched it and I liked it. I'm gonna support it. So whatever.
Man, hey, you support whatever you want, dog. You know that. You know. That's how you're supposed to do it. You support whatever you want. I watched The Flash. I watched it. Guess what? It was all right. You know what I mean? So if that's called supporting him, I guess I supported his ass too. You know, they made way more money off that than they did at the box office. So, you know, it is what it is. That's the end of DC as it is, anyways.
Yeah.
Blue Beetle don't count. Yeah, don't ever. They were trying to say COVID spikes was the reason for it sucking at the box office. I'm like, no, George Lopez being in that movie is the reason it sucked the
Plus, they
box
didn't
office.
promote it.
We
They
can't.
didn't promote it.
How you gonna promote it?
Well, no, they had events and stuff for it.
Oh, I know, but like,
But
who was there?
the stars,
Like I said, who was there? Like normally you bring people out.
no,
You
I
bring
know,
some
but
big time heads out. Like there's people that go to events that aren't in those movies, but they're maybe in the universe, right? Or they're really good friends with the people of the pictures that make it.
mm-hmm.
So can you tell me at their event who was the biggest star?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's one of those Hollywood events I don't think was like a big deal. Like it wasn't Hollywood. Like they could have brought Brittany Renner out there and they might have got more traction. And she ain't an actor. She's just a well-known person on social media, you know. So I don't know. Blue Beetle don't count. I don't know. Blue Beetle kind of don't count to me. It seems like a everything they've done has seemed really low budget for being a DC.
Well, because it was originally supposed to just go to HBO Max.
Probably would have done better. Probably would have done better, man. I think more people need to do that. Go straight to the streamer, and that's about it. You know what I mean? Well, what else you got to add?
Nothing.
Nothing. Me neither. You can sign out.
It's your boy Steve Cardenas, aka Rocky the Red Power Ranger, and you are watching The Grid.